Hello everyone, this is Vicky here today, designing for Pinkpress Studio, and I'm using the Happy Blooms collection. I started off with this fabulous floral paper here, which is sort of a subtle pattern, which is what I wanted, but I wanted to white out some of it to put some mixed media onto it. So I'm just using some white gesso onto that background, and that's going to be the base for my mixed media. I use thick white gesso from Ranger, I think. No, let me see. Yeah, it's Art Basics, sorry. And I really like that. It's Finnabair, Art Basics. So while that's drying, I'm just cutting some fringes from this lovely pink gingham paper, and I want to sit them across the page like a shelf with my photos sitting on them. And some mixed media on the background. So that's what I'm doing there. I pull out my inks and I'm using Tidal Pond, which is sort of a lovely teal colour. And I just pat it down onto my packaging and then put it onto the paper. Spray some water on and then put it on the paper. And the gesso means that I can move it around a bit and it doesn't soak into the page. This next colour is called Evergreen, and you'll see actually that I do go off of the gesso a little bit on that bottom right corner, and you can see how it reacts differently to the paper there. But that's okay, it's only a small part, and once it dries you can't really notice. So I'm just bringing my photos back in to make sure that I've got enough mixed media on the background, and now I'm going to do some splatters. So I just again pat the ink down onto the packaging, put a bit of water on with my brush and then splatter. So there we go, that's dry. So now I'm going to put my fringe and photos on, and this paper was great for my photo because of the pink t-shirt that my niece is wearing there. It just looks perfect with that, so I thought it worked really well. And then the green sort of picks up from the trees in the picture, and then the teal in the background picks up from the teal on the paper. So this paper here is great for fussy cutting, and I'm going to cut out some flowers for my layout, and they're just going to sort of frame the photo here. I'm going to cut through that in a second so that you don't have to watch me, but these are super simple to cut out. They're not anything too intricate, so it doesn't take too long. There we go. So I've cut out a couple of clusters from there, and I'm going to put one each side of the photo on top of the fringe. And then I'm going to put some foam on the back of my photos just to raise them off of the page a little. But I've cut the foam, I'll put it on in a little while, but for now it's ready and cut. These pieces of paper are from the 6x6 paper pad, which I cut to make some letters on a previous layout. So I had those already cut, and I'm just going to use those to back my photos. Just a very subtle border around them. It's not very big, but it just gives a bit of extra colour around those photos. There we go. I do love the effect from a patterned background because it just adds just more interest to the page, and I'm guilty of using white backgrounds I think too often, so it was a nice change for me to use a pattern background here. Okay, so I'm just putting some double-sided tape onto the back of my fringes, my trusty ATG gun, and I'm going to stick those down there, just slightly offset from each other, and I'm going to ruffle up the edges. The little cuts, just to give it a bit more dimension. Okay, sticking down my photos because I know that they're going to go there. They're definitely not going anywhere else. And I'm going to start to think about sticking down some flowers as well. And I'm going to raise them onto foam in part. So that one, I raised the darker pink flower onto foam, and then the lighter pink will stick onto the photo. So I only needed to put the foam on that one. And then the leaves will just stick up, and they could add more dimension by just being able to lift off the page. Again, this one I just put foam on the bottom half because it's going to sit onto the photo, so it doesn't need foam there. I'm really liking how those flowers look on that fringe. I think they just look really pretty. And the blue in the background just takes away from it being too girly. Back to nature with the green, I think, from the girls being outside. So this is just a puffy frame, and I've cut it in half, and I'm going to put a bit above the photo on the left, and then a little bit sticking out from the bottom of the fringe, just for a pop of colour there. Another puffy floral sticker I've just put on the left there, next to the other cluster I have. And just this, I don't think it's this one, yeah, a different tag here, just a bit of green. I wanted to bring a bit of the green up to the top, and I'm just going to stick that under there, just for a little pop of green there. I think about putting some at the edge, but it's too fussy, so I don't do that in the end. Okay, what's happening next? More florals. I take a couple of these die cuts, the ones that match the florals that I cut from the paper, and I'm going to cut a couple of those flowers out. So this little pink one, and also a white one with some leaves. So I keep the rest of the die cut, and I can use those later and cut them out. So I'm going to put that one there at the bottom, just sticking out from the bottom of the fringe. My title's going to go around that, so I thought that would look quite nice there. And the other one I haven't stuck down yet, but I do that in a bit when I realise it's not stuck. So I'm going to do my title now, and I want to put Seesaw Fun, because they're on seesaws. Now, I have no idea if seesaws are called seesaws in America, but in England we call them seesaw. They're just, you have one person sat each end and they go up and down. If anyone knows what those are called in other countries, let me know. I'd be interested to know. So I'm going to call it Seesaw Fun. Now I start by thinking that I might want to do fun with these little alphas and use the little sort of the cornflower blue, so that I have a bit of that at the bottom, because there's some over there on the right. But I don't like it. Really, I think it just doesn't work, so I do actually change that, but for now it's there. This little sticker, cardstock sticker, says a happy day, and that is the cornflower blue, so I'm happy that I have that at the top and at the side. It's now in two places, so so I can remove fun, and I can use the green alpha for the whole title, and I like this much better. It seems to fit better in the space that I had. There we go. I think we're pretty much there. I think that's the final layout. Yep, there's the final layout. I hope you enjoyed this process. It's quite a simple layout, but I think it works really well with the busy background. Thank you so much for watching. Please do let me know if you have any questions. I will link all the products that I used below so that you can see the full list. And this has been Vicki for Pink Fresh Studio. Bye bye.